Hello everybody, it's Paul Neeson with the Raw Life Health Show, and somebody has a question for me and a comment here on YouTube that I'll comment about. They say, they claim fasting once a week can prevent many forms of disease. Can you give me your thoughts on fasting and for how long? They suggest 1 or 2 days a week. However, 1 day a week would be better for me, but your thoughts would be appreciated. I also what to drink during the fasting periods for true benefits. I look forward to your thoughts on this reply. Well, I'll be happy to answer this question here on YouTube, but if you want to see many of my replies and really care what I think, on my website, The Raw Life Health Show, I have tons of videos where I specifically have questions and answers for members of The Raw Life Health Show and many other benefits and every single topic. So I want everyone to go to The Raw Life Health Show or rawlifehealthshow.com to see my other answers to all the different questions. As for this fasting question, I always get, how long can we fast for? Well, anytime we're not eating, we're fasting. So technically, between a meal, we're fasting if we're not eating. This is why when we wake up in the morning, the first meal of the day, they call break fast, because you're breaking your nightly fast. Now, if somebody's eating in the middle of the night, that's not healthy. The longer we go without food, and I'm not talking about starvation, that's something different. But when we give our body a break from eating, it allows the body to not have to focus on digestion, and instead the body can focus on cleansing and breaking down the food we've already eaten. And that's a very important thing to do. Now, people that eat too much or too often are not giving their body a chance to do that on a regular basis, and this can lead to health problems. And it starts off with digestive disorders, and then it leads to other issues. So it is very advisable not to overeat. I have a book called The Daylight Diet where I recommend especially not eating before going to sleep or late at night, and also not eating too many meals or too often throughout the day. And this is a common thing today, that people just eat all day long and they think it's good to eat many small meals throughout the day. No, if you're not giving your body a chance to digest a previous meal, it's not a healthy thing to do. So is it okay or wise to take a break from eating once a week or twice a week or even longer? And how often should we do this? Well, Brian Clement of the Hippocrates Health Institute has been studying health and disease and healthy eating for many, many years. And he fasts 1 day a week, every day now, I think for the last 20 years. And that's one thing he recommends. Now, as for what they could fast on, if somebody's going to be active, they should do some sort of vegetable juice. It's not officially fasting because you're actually taking in a juice, but that juice will help you if you have to be active. The ideal thing would be not to be active and take that 1 day to completely rest, and then in that case you could do water. But going 1 whole day with no food, if not every week, at least once a month would be a very wise thing to do. It's not easy, and there are a few circumstances, such as a woman who's pregnant or maybe somebody who has type 1 diabetes, where they have to consult their nutritionist before they do something like that. But everyone else should be able to do this with no problem, going a whole day without food. Now, a whole day without food means 24 hours, even better, 36 hours. It's very simple to go 24 hours without food, because you can go from lunch to lunch and still technically be eating every day. But a real true 1 day fast is 36 hours, where you're not eating a whole day. So from the time you go to sleep, the whole next day to the following morning, and that's 36 hours. And that's where the real benefits start to kick in, and where the real rest starts to come in. Now, even if you're eating that 1 meal a day and fasting for 24 hours, that'll still give the body a benefit. The key to health is to eat as little as you can while giving your body as most as it can get. Today, people do the opposite thing. They eat as much as they can while giving the body the least. No, eat the least while giving your body the most. And what I mean is, if you're eating good quality food, you don't need to eat that much or that often. But when you're eating low quality food, you're never satisfying your body from its nutritional requirements, and you're always going to crave more food. Now, there are many other reasons we eat other than nutritional deficiencies. There's a lot of emotional reasons and so on. But from a diet standpoint, you want to give your body the highest quality food you can get. And that would be homegrown or locally grown, raw, ripe, fresh, organic fruits, vegetables, and nuts and seeds. And that doesn't have to be complete your 100% diet, but it should be a good part of your diet. So the fasting question is, how long should a person fast? I think everyone could benefit from fasting 24 or even better 36 hours a week. That's great. If you feel you don't want to do that or you can't do that, at least do that once a month. 24 hours or 36 hours once a month would be wonderful. Now, technically on a juice fast, a person can go months on just juice. And if they're getting good quality juice, they could be totally fine, and it might do them a benefit to do once in their life. Now, how long somebody should go on a juice fast or a water fast, even on a water fast, I do recommend if somebody's going on a water fast that it be supervised by a professional who knows what they're doing. But if somebody goes on this fast, whether it's water or juice, the question is how long. And this is where my opinion will differ from other people that promote fasting or promote eating healthy or just anything I like to do with this. I would say we should not have a time of how long we should fast. I would say we need to, really think about this. And what I mean is, if we say we're going to fast 10 days, well, what if after 8 days we're ready for food? And we say, oh, we got to go 10 days. Or what if we say we're fasting 10 days, and what after 10 days, we're not ready to stop the fast. We want to go longer. Some people say to me, oh, God told me to fast. Well, and they ask me when they should stop. I say, well, if he told you to fast, he'll tell you when to stop. What I tell people is, every now and then, try to go without food for a couple of meals and see how you feel. And just because you feel lousy doesn't mean you need food. It means your body might be detoxifying and so on. So try to go without food for a couple of meals and maybe a day and so on. What really happens is after up to the 3rd day, you'll be very, very in the mood for food. I won't necessarily say hungry, because hungry has a meaning of starvation, but it's a habit hunger for the first 3 days because you're just looking for food. But what happens usually is on a 3rd day, and not always, but usually, you just lose that sensation for wanting food or that habit hunger, and then it's much easier after that. But the first 2 days, 3 days, I have to admit, it's not that easy. But if you keep busy enough, where you don't need to think about food, boredom is one reason people like to eat. You can get a couple of days, and I would say just take it as long as it goes, and I wouldn't put a time limit on it. And if you're liking the results you get, wonderful. And if you're not, well, then maybe you could stop or change something or do it another time. Some people think the best time to actually not eat food is when they're actually not feeling well. If they have a runny nose or a stuffed nose or something like that, that is a great time to stop eating food. And it would really help the body cleanse and detoxify. However, it'll also enhance your symptoms, and people might not be looking in the mood for that. Well, a good friend of mine who's been teaching us a long time says the best time to actually do a fast or something else is when you're feeling your best, when you don't have a runny nose, when you're not feeling lazy or feeling bad. That would be the best time, so it can help the body while it's strong start eliminating these toxins and everything else in the body that's been in there too long. So there's many different questions about fasting and so on. I have a book called The Miracle of Fasting by Paul Braggs. The Miracle of Fasting by Paul Braggs, which is probably the greatest book on fasting that I've ever read. It's wonderful. There is another great one by Arnold Ehret called The Mucusless Diet and Healing System. No, I'm sorry, it's called Rational Fasting. Both of those are by Arnold Ehret, but that's called Rational Fasting. So those are 2 books I recommend if you're really interested in fasting. One of them is here we go again. One of them is Rational Fasting by Arnold Ehret, and another one is The Miracle of Fasting by Paul Braggs, and they're both on my website, rawlife.com. Now, there is something, I get a question often about Stanley Burroughs' lemonade fast, or it's a cayenne pepper, lemon, water, and maple syrup. People are doing this for a very long time, often to lose weight, which is not the reason you should be fasting, to lose weight, because when you lose the weight and you start eating again, you put the weight back. No, losing weight is a benefit of fasting, but again, we should be fasting to break that addiction to food or that habit of eating all the time. That's a great reason to go on a fast. But the lemonade diet or lemonade fast by Stanley Burroughs, if people have an addiction or they do have a habit that they want to break, it's okay. It's fine. You can do it, and you can get along with it. Again, I wouldn't say I'm going to do it this many days, though. I would go as long as I thought I needed to go, and then I would stop. And how do we know? Well, if you're not 100% sure, find somebody who does. That can help you with that. All right. One more last thing I want to say before I talk about this topic is the signs of detoxification between are always similar to the signs of something wrong. Let me put it this way. All health is determined, or all disease is shown by 2 ways: a detoxification or a deficiency, one or the other. But the problem is the symptoms are similar. So how do you know if you truly have a detoxification or if you have a deficiency? It's very important to know, because if you treat them the wrong way, it can make the problem worse. So if you have a detoxification where your body's trying to get rid of, because you have too much of something, then you would need to rest and you would need to slow down. And you would assist the body in getting rid of these things. However, if you had a deficiency, then the answer wouldn't be to slow down and eat less. The answer would be you need something, nutrients or vitamins or something. You need a little bit more. You're not getting enough of something. So it's very helpful to do good research, study your books, and find people that know what they're talking about when it comes to health and can help you identify if it's a detoxification or deficiency. And I have other videos that talk about that, how to identify that. All right, I hope that answered your question about fasting. If anyone else has a question, post them below the video and I'll get to them. And if you want to see more of my opinion on many questions and topics, go to my website, rawlifehealthshow.com. Thank you very much. Have a great day and a great raw life.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.